Welcome to the Kiss Army Things podcast. This is episode 72. My name is Xander.
My name is Jeb.
And I'm Rob.
So, welcome to what is going to be called The Road So Far. This is going to be an episode where Rob and Jeb and I just kind of get geared up for Rosemont because guess what, guys? It's next weekend. Next weekend is Indianapolis and then Rosemont the following Monday. So it's here, the end of the road. It's quite crazy. So this is going to be kind of like a almost like a Road to Rosemont side quest. Rob's been doing a really cool series over on his channel, bringing in some Kiss YouTubers, myself, and just talking about how we're all going to be going to Rosemont / New York, and different people have come and gone and joined us. Nico joined us on the last one, which was cool for the first time. But tonight we're bringing Jeb into the fold. So Jeb, it's nice to have you back on the show virtually for the first time.
Great to be here, and it's great to be acquainted with Rob. I think this is the first feature we've done together, so that's exciting. Happy to be here.
Yeah, that's been a blast doing the series on our show, and I was texting Xander like, is Jeb going to be possibly this one? So it was kind of cool when he said, hey, I think the three of us are going to do that. I was like, I don't even care what the topic is. I just want to say hello.
Well, yeah, nice to get it right before the end of it. I mean,
right.
Before it all ends. It's nice.
Yeah, because we were all three in Dayton together, but we didn't actually get to all three hang out together. So this is kind of nice just to be able to talk about the show and get excited. So real quickly, before we get into all the reminiscing and all that, I want to know what everybody's spotlight is. And since Jeb, it's been a while since you've been on the show, so tell us what your Kiss spotlight is, what you've been rocking to, what Kiss media you've been absorbing. What is it?
I've been listening to Kiss more now than I have in probably the last 2 years, and it's most likely because over the past few months I've been recollecting my Kiss vinyl, which over the years I've had a Kiss collection containing multiple pressings and all that stuff, and then I would sell them off, and then now I'm in the process of creating my own like DIY Kiss box set, and so now I'm buying back all of my stuff, and so I've been listening to a lot of Kiss, but the most recent one that I've been really enjoying again is Psycho Circus.
Nice.
So nice. This is the second copy I've owned. Sorry, Xander, because
oh my gosh,
like I used to have the the lenticular edition, which now is really sought after. And what's funny is that even this pressing, I went to a record store. I'm always going to record stores around here in Chicago, but I went to one and they had this same pressing, 2014, re-release, just the basic pressing there, and they were selling it for $120. By the way, I picked this up from Amazon for like $24, so they're still available. Or at least I got one on Amazon for $23. I don't know where on earth they got that number. It's not the silver vinyl. It's not they didn't even do an original pressing. So, and I looked at this 2014, and I'm like, these aren't worth that much. So I just went on Amazon and like, my copy. And it's to me, it's a near flawless record. I mean, I have the album in the back here, so maybe I can't look at the track listing, but Psycho Circus, obviously a masterpiece, 10 out of 10. Within, masterpiece, 10 out of 10. Let's see, I Pledge Allegiance, it's a 10 out of 10. Into the Void, I think it's a 10. It's like, We Are One, I love it, it's a 10. You Wanted the Best, same thing. The only song for me that doesn't really do it for me is Maybe I Finally Found My Way, and Dreaming to an extent, but everything else is just flawless, and I adore that album. That was Xander and I's first Kiss album, really. So it's a special album, but it still sounds incredible. Listening to it is just as enjoyable, maybe more enjoyable now for me than ever before. I just love it.
That's awesome. That's a great album, and it's one of those, like, Hot in the Shade was my first, and we always say on our show, it's you never forget your first Kiss. That first thing, no matter what anybody else says about your first entry point, is always something magical. And I said the same thing on my little video I did, that over the years that album just continues to get better and better and better. And Psycho is the same way. And songs that I was like, for the longest time, You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best. I was like, what a cheesy, corny song. But the more of it time marches on, I'm like, man, I love this song. It's such a great song.
It's so fun. And
Yeah.
I think, to me, sonically, it's the best sounding record they've ever done. I mean,
Yeah.
it's almost, you know, in that section of like overproduced, like even for its, you know, even for today's standard, it sounds clean as any record that I've heard. It's super clean sounding, but you don't really get that with a lot of Kiss albums at all. So I think, you know, hats off to Bruce Fairbairn for doing what he did on that record, because it sounds unbelievably clean to this day. You know, it's amazing.
In terms of like the sonics and the production, I feel like in some of the songs and the arrangements, it feels like a modern day Destroyer. Because
yeah.
you know, when the reunion album happened, or when that album was announced, everybody thought it was going to be like the next Love Gun or a new Rock and Roll Over, and it ended up being like kind of like Destroyer, where it was a lot cleaner and a lot more sophisticated than you would expect from a Kiss album. I don't know, in my opinion at least.
Well, interesting that you say that, because you know, obviously it was supposed to be Ezra who produced the album originally. It's, you know, it's kind of a loose concept album, you know, sort of like the other Ezra projects. So there's elements of that in there, and so I'm not even sure if the album is how it was supposed to have ever been presented. And it's, you know, again, it's kind of a loose concept, so it's kind of all over the place, almost like The Elder, which has a more clear, you know, concept going on. But it's such a unique Kiss record. It's totally different, it seems like.
I think you mentioned how, you know, it sounds clean and sounds good today. I was actually, I think maybe last night before, I was on YouTube, and there was some, you know, reaction channel where it's some, you know, guy and a girl, husband and wife, whatever. They just react to all different kinds of music, all different kinds of songs, and they reacted to Psycho Circus. And I was thinking, oh man, like, you know, are they gonna like? Because it was the music. They were also watching the video, and so and they're like, you know, our age, Jeb.
No
so I was
3D.
thinking, do what? Do what?
No 3D on YouTube.
Oh yeah, thank goodness. There was no 3D in the original one either. But anyway,
yeah, you had to go on the tour to see the 3D.
Yeah, exactly. But no, so I was watching this YouTube channel, and I was thinking, oh man, you know, are they going to think it's bad? Are they, you know, what are they going to think? And so come to find out, they had reacted to Kiss already, and the guy bought like a Court Gene Simmons bass and had it up in the house, and she was wearing a Paul Stanley shirt, and they actually really enjoyed the song. And he was like, I'm going to add this to my gym playlist, my workout playlist. And they were talking about how they even enjoyed the music video, and how even though it was very out there, that they, you know, they still thought it was very fun. And so I think it's cool how even in 2023, after 25 years, that album, you know, to fresh ears, it's still, at least that title song, you know, sounds good.
Yeah. Like you said, sonically, the every instrument just leaps not off the page, but you know what I mean? Like the drums just have a really good snap to it. You know, wish it was Peter Criss, but man, Kevin Valentine just plays beautifully. Even if it's Gene all the time on the bass, just you can listen to every song and pick out all those different elements, and they just work so well together. You're right, Jeb. It's sonically probably one of the best Kiss sounding albums from the whole catalog.
Absolutely. And I can only imagine what it would have been like, you know. I mean, I was technically there when it first came out, but to be a seasoned Kiss fan and to experience that album, because, you know, kind of like Xander said, people may have been expecting something like classic Kiss, like a Destroyer or Rock and Roll Over. It's nothing. I mean, you know, it's hard to even pin down, because the subject matter is not classic Kiss whatsoever. It's not about partying and girls and whatever. It's just like, it seemed like more of a sentimental, almost like a farewell album. And, you know, if you think of You Wanted the Best and We Are One and stuff like that, or the Celebratory
Journey of 1,000 Years.
Yes, yeah.
Or Raise Your Glasses, like We're the Champions, we did it. It sounds like a farewell record at some points. You know, this was before the farewell, you know, right before the farewell tour. But, you know, I've never heard them talk about it, and maybe that was supposed to be the last, you know, studio album, which would make sense given the farewell tour just 2 years later.
For sure. Yeah, and I think Psycho Circus, the song at least, is a top 5, top 10 favorite song of mine at this point, just because of how thematic it is.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's that song is an experience. It's a concept unto its own. It's like a fully fleshed out thing, but it's just one Kiss song. And the fact that they've been playing it, live over the past couple of years on the last tour, has been unbelievable.
absolutely. So, Rob, what have you been jamming to, bud?
Well, I'm on the show, so before I do that, I have to open this.
Ooh.
Hey, cheers, my guy.
Yeah.
Clink.
And this is the first root beer I've ever had from Moneybag.
Mm.
Enjoy, man. It's good.
Man, that's a good. Wow, that's really good. Okay,
The,
enough about that. I won't. This is not a review for Moneybag Soda, but what I've had
my
is really
spotlight is the Moneybag soda.
there we go. Yeah, there's a spotlight. So my spotlight. I think every time I'm on your show, I take a weird like, oh, it's the Eric Singer project. Oh, it's this or that. I purposely, with this last month and with the end of October going into November, I purposely have not listened to any Kiss. Going into the show, the only song that I listened to recently is because it was in your lyric of the last episode we did from Right Here Right Now from Monster. So I broke my rule and I played that, just getting into the show. As much as we go through movies and stuff, like I don't want any spoilers. Like we know the set list, we've seen the shows a number of times, but I just want to go into the show hearing these songs as fresh as I can make them. So the long story is, this is another Kiss adjacent, and I went with Mr. Bruce Kulick's Transformer.
Okay, there you go.
So
Autographs.
yeah, so this is from the Kiss Indie Expo of 2022 when this was his record release party, and I saw him in a guitar clinic. Yeah, and that's what Jeb had with Audio Dog. That's where I'd started because I was toying with buying the vinyl. And no, we got Rosemont coming up and wanting to spend money at the merch table, and like I just didn't have the money. So I'd listen to Audio Dog, and then this has been on repeat for the week, knowing okay, Bruce Kulick's not going to be, on the tour or anything like that. So that was kind of my spotlight for the last, week or so. Just been kind of really playing this, and it's making me appreciate not only the 80s and 90s era of Kiss that Bruce was part in, but just what a really good player and what a good, I don't know what the right word, not workhorse, but just a true professional, that he's been there for Kiss doing whatever Paul and Gene had asked. And even out of Kiss, he's still playing on Kiss albums and is still written, just like you said, with Psycho Circus, doing bass work with Paul, writing with Gene, doing backwards guitar stuff on Within. So I've been getting more nostalgic getting into these last couple weeks of going, this is going to be our last show, and knowing that, Bruce and Peter and Ace aren't there. I've been kind of relishing in stuff that's not Kiss. And then on the 27th, hearing all these songs live for one last time. So yeah, my spotlight, Transformer 2002 release.
I'll be honest, I have not listened to that album. Jeb, have you? Do you have any thoughts?
Oh, I love. I haven't listened to that one specifically in a while. I used to have an autographed CD just like that. I got him to sign in person in Indianapolis. I don't know where it's at, but his 3 solo albums are great. I love, especially the instrumentals that he does, because he's he to me is up there with some of the, I don't know, it's hard to say the best of the best of the best, like Steve Vai and all that stuff. But when he's on, he is on. And I think, as a huge Bruce Kulick fan, I'd love to see that his solo work represented like that. Of course, I have the Audio Dog CD there. Even BK3 is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I love the stuff he did with Union as well.
Oh, I love those 2 albums.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think Bruce's work on, Carnival of Souls, because I love that album. I think he's bordering on brilliant on that like there. So I'm a huge Bruce fan. I love it. I love to see it being represented.
For people that haven't checked this out, his vocal work I think is better on this album. BK3 I think is really good, but the instrumental stuff, In of the Mountain Gods, is a fantastic tune. All I Need, I Can't Breathe is probably my favorite track off here with his lead vocal. But I was just listening to the In of the Mountain Gods, and then off of Audio Dog, Dogs of Morrison, had that replaying today. So some good stuff by Bruce.
Yeah, it's excellent. I love it. love Bruce.
That's awesome for sure. All right, so I guess it's my turn. So mine may come as a surprise, at least to Jeb, because this is an album that doesn't really get spotlit much around here. But the last record that was on my turntable was Dynasty.
Mm.
And I don't know why, but just for whatever over the years, Dynasty, even though I love it, every Kiss album is a great Kiss album. Dynasty's always been the one that has just not been replayed the most. I listen to it maybe only, once or twice a year, it seems, just maybe a few times a year and in full. All the songs I hear on shuffle all the time. But as far as like, hey, I want to hear Dynasty and nothing but Dynasty, it's very few and far in between. So I decided to listen to Dynasty this past week on the turntable, and just kind of was vibing in the Kiss room. And some of those songs, I mean, they are really good. Sure Know Something to me is one of the greatest Kiss songs ever, and I hate that that song is not played live today, or at least like in a sound check or a Kiss cruise. I don't expect it to be in the main set list, but that song is so good that I just wish it would make it to the one of those special sets.
Yeah. Or even like in a sort of compilation or a best of. It's not one that you really, or is it really included in compilations? I don't know.
Not really. You usually get "I Was Made for Loving You," and well, that's probably about it from the album.
Oh
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. I think that song is equally as good, and that's another song that I think for me and Xander that holds a special place in our heart because of the Kiss Extreme Close Up VHS. That was one of the first things. After I think Unholy, they went to Sure Know Something in that video. And for us, that was the Kiss magic, the original four, the magic. Every time I see that video, it takes me back, and I love it.
Oh no, I'm saying absolutely. When I think Dynasty, I mean my mind doesn't even think of that album cover. My mind thinks Paul's pink purple outfit and that shattered mirror guitar and Ace, twirling around in his cape. That's kind of what I think of because that video was very, very formative. Nice.
Well, this is one of my more recent finds since you're speaking of Dynasty, but this is a stone mint first pressing with the poster and the order form. My favorite Dynasty does have my favorite Kiss inner sleeve, the shiny, the almost
the colorful.
Oh yeah.
Got it, and here that one.
That's so cool.
That's my favorite Kiss inner sleeve. It's awesome.
The first song I heard from Dynasty from a classmate had made a mixtape once I'd bought Hot in the Shade. The first song on the cassette tape was Charisma. And I've always loved that tune. And so that's usually the first thing that I tend to think about Dynasty with. And then the next one, of course, is, Sure Know Something. So I couldn't have told you early on in my Kiss days. Like I knew it was on Smashes. I Was Made for Loving You. But until I actually got Dynasty, I was like, oh, I Was Made for Loving You is on this album. And it's the first song. I thought that was really bizarre, but
right.
It was a great deep cut from that record. Like a really cool Gene Simmons deep cut. Yeah.
And I like the record, and I mean, there's other Kiss albums that only have 9 songs. I think Animalize is one of them. Other Kiss album that only has 9 songs, but Dynasty feels like it needs one more. It just feels like it's not quite as strong. I think it might be Kiss's weakest album of the 70s, just because I think it. Yeah, I mean, what the first album can't be on that list. Rock and Roll Over is perfection, So it's like I think Dynasty for me just might be the weakest album of the bunch, even though it does have some strong stuff. But but this time. Well, okay, for sure. I'm not counting that as a Kiss album, but you're right. It was officially released under the name Kiss, so perhaps Peter's album is the one. But no, anyway. So that's our Kiss spotlight. Whoa, what you got there? Is that a new one? 2014.
Chris first pressing with the poster. No big deal.
No big deal.
That's the only one of the solo albums that I have a complete original setup. For a decent price, I can't get any of the other ones, and it's weird because they pressed millions of these.
Yeah,
it's hard to find the originals with the posters because that's what I want. So,
Gene's is my only one that I have that is complete from the 70s, poster insert and everything. But like you said, the others, forget about it.
I mean, I came across a really good clean copy of Aces, and they were selling it. I hit the poster. They were selling it for over $100, and I got this for $40. Just because it's Aces. Like I get it, but I got a pass. So I bought a 2014 re-release for $25.
I was just at a local. It's like half head shop, half record store. Anyway, they it's a bong shop or a vape shop that sells records basically. Well, they sell those too, but anyway, I go
I
for
know
the
exactly
vinyl.
what you're talking about, too.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I was actually I was texting you about it because they actually had 3 of the 4 solo albums on picture disc from I think it was the '06 releases, and it took me a while, but I actually finally did get all 4 of them. Actually, I think I might have some duplicates, but I finally did get all 4 of the solo album picture discs from '06 in person. I wanted to just get them in person. I was like, I'm not gonna go online and get them. I'm just gonna get them when I get them. And it took several years, but I ended up finding all 4. So, come on, guys, get with it. I'm just kidding.
Well, I used to have jeans on picture disc, but I'll tell you what, I see those picture disc versions way more than I do the original.
Yeah,
same here.
I see them all the time, and they're not expensive really. I don't know how they sound, but they're cool.
You guys might have them around you, being that we're neighboring states. Do you guys have half-priced bookstores?
Yeah.
Around? Okay, I see them all the time at half-price bookstores when I'm flipping through, and I'm always saying, "Oh, the next time I go, I'll pick one up," and I get something different because they're always there. So the one time I thought, "Okay, I'm gonna go buy one," they weren't there, and I was like, "Of course." I let months and years go by, telling myself, "Oh, I'll get it later. Oh, I'll get it later." Some other Kiss fan took them.
I was at a half price. This was last year, and I went in. I think this was in Ohio actually, because I was working there. I found a rock and roll overpressing. It was not in great shape, but it had the misprint blue teardrop under Paul's eye for $15, and I passed on it because if it were in better shape, I would have got it because I don't have. If it's not a clean pressing, it's not going in the collection. Still, I kind of feel like it's the teardrop.
Jeb has standards for his record collection.
Right. Well, I look at my box sets, man.
Not My Life too. It had stickers all over. You can see the white marks, and I was like, I don't have a original pressing yet, and that's as close as I could get for $20. So I bought it. Well, my standards are lower.
Luckily, I got Bob Kulick to sign my original copy with all the sticker, the it's a complete set, whatever came with it, the temporary tattoos and all that stuff. But I wanted, when I met Bob, I wanted him, because when I brought it to him, he was like, "Do you want me to sign the back? Do you want me to sign the gatefold?" And I said, "No, I want you to sign the front cover." I hope that meant something to him. So rest in peace, Bob Kulick.
Awesome.
He was played on that for live too. Anyone who's watching this knows that. But
that's awesome. Yeah, I think, Jeb, you said it earlier, you said you've been listening to more Kiss now than in the past couple of years. I think I'm the same way too. I've been putting my Spotify on shuffle. I've been bringing CDs in the car. I've been spinning records on the turntable, just getting, excited for Rosemont. And of course, like I said, this is the end of the road. And, we're kind of talking about some of the shows we've experienced so far on this tour. But I want to start out talking about this. Jeb, can you think back to when the tour was announced? The night that you and I were watching America's Got Talent, and Paul came out and actually said, "We're going to be going on the end of the road tour." You remember that?
I remember them being on America's Got Talent, but it seems like such a long time ago, and I guess it was. But I really don't remember the announcement because I remember them playing live, whatever. But I don't remember that moment where they said this is the end of the road tour. Right?
Well, okay, so remember when they had the copyright, they had the trademark.
And see, that's what I remember.
And we were all kind of thinking, okay, now why would they trademark this? And then they said, we have a big announcement on AGT, this coming whatever night. And Jeb actually predicted it. Jeb said, it's going to be the end of the road. They're announcing the end. And I was in denial. I said, no, come on. They got to do, they got one more album and then a tour and then the final tour. So, they're going to make it to 50 years and they're going to have another album out. And Jeb, you were like, no, they're going to announce the end of the road tour. I feel it. And so we watched and it was very quick and, because it was televised. So they had to be boom, boom, boom with it. But Paul said, we're going to be going on the end of the road tour. So for those who have seen us, come see us. Those who haven't, this is your last chance. We'll see you there. And that was in I think the fall of 2018. And then the tour started in January 2019. So here we are, November 2023. still on the end of the road tour now. Of course, a lot's happened though, right? A global pandemic, the great Dubai crisis. You know, we've Kiss fans have been through a lot in the
I didn't
past.
think you were allowed to swear on this show.
Hey, I'll bleep it out. I'll bleep it out.
Okay.
Ready? Ready?
Fucking show. I'm never doing
Exactly. It's Kiss canceled their second show. They said, "No, we ain't doing this." No, anyway. No, I know. But yeah. So okay. So how are you guys feeling? I mean, obviously, okay. So let me just start this off. My personal feelings. When the tour started, I was like, okay, it's the end of the road tour. This is the last time. Definitely. I had no doubts about it. Once they announced it, it was like, okay, if they're saying it, they're saying it. They're serious. And I was like, but we still have shows. We still have merch coming out. We still have the whole thing. We're still in Kiss fan routine mode. Now that we're towards the end and we are going to be buying no more tickets, we have no more tours to look forward to. Now it's setting in like, wow, next weekend I'm going to be seeing Kiss for the last time. And I'm not hesitant anymore. I'm embracing it. Mm-hmm. Because for so long I've been like, no, I don't want to, I'll wait for November. It can take as long as it wants. I want to savor this moment. Not that I'm excited, but I'm just like, you know what? Let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready to see you guys. I'm ready to see the new stage. I'm ready to hear Making Love for the first time ever. So how are you guys feeling? Rob, what are your thoughts right now about Rosemont being next week?
I feel like we get to tail end of any year that's in November. People are like, gee, I can't believe it's November already. I wrote the date down today at work. I was like, is today the 15th? And then my supervisor was like, oh, next week's Thanksgiving. I'm like, no, next week's not. Next week is Thanksgiving. Oh, holy crap. Monday is Rosemont. Like it really started sinking in. I know I've been up until, the end of October into this month, I've been, like I said, doing my Kiss hiatus, but I had been listening all the time. I played through our Rosemont playlist on Spotify and thought, wow, we really picked some cool songs. And just the different albums that I've been going to and hitting albums on shuffle. But it wasn't until we all recorded our last Rosemont episode that it really started to sink in, where I went, I'm seeing my last show. And I'm sure anybody that you guys know has been saying, oh, this is Kiss's last show. Every show I kept thinking, this is my last show. But it never really felt like my last show, because somehow, I'm sure as we'll talk through the show, things just kept happening that kept getting us other shows. But I haven't felt like this going into any of those shows where I'm like, I not that I don't know what to expect. I inside don't know what to expect. Like what I'm gonna feel. Am I gonna be a 49-year-old man crying? I don't know. It's that at some point it's going to end. The Kiss is going to become the Beatles. I mean, look who we're talking about. They just released, a brand new song. So we could have things like that to look forward to, but knowing that this is the last time that I'm seeing Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Eric Singer, Tommy Thayer, and whoever else, it's really starting to hit like a lead weight.
Yeah, for sure. Jeb, what about you?
Well, I feel like I've been so busy lately that I haven't even had time to consider, like, oh my gosh, my last, last show's coming up until the last couple of days. Because almost like Rob, I looked at the calendar and was like, wow, it's right around the corner. So, and then it kind of went away. Like right now, it feels normal because I have not just one more show, but two more shows. So it's not like, okay, the next time I see him, that's going to be, it's going to be the time after that. But I don't think anything's going to really set in until sometime after the last show. Because right now I got two Kiss shows that are going to be the last. But I don't think it'll be until after, because for our whole life, we've always had that to look forward to. And that'll be the first time that there will be nothing to not nothing to look forward to, but because for Xander and I, it's always been, give it a year or two and Kiss will be doing a tour. That was guaranteed.
Yep.
For our whole lifetime, it's pretty much been like that. And so for right now, I'm kind of thinking, it hasn't happened yet. So it hasn't affected me yet, even though I know it's there, even though, and by the way, I think I missed something because, you know, when they first announced the last shows in New York early December, people were still talking about like, okay, they might do a couple one-off shows after that. It's just the last tour. It's not the last show. Well, lately they have been marketing this as the last Kiss concert, which maybe I haven't been paying enough attention to the social media or what they've been saying, but I looked at that and saw, oh my gosh, this is for sure the last time. Like, there's no, because they're not playing on the cruise, right? Maybe Gene and Paul will do a solo tour, Soul Station and Gene Simmons band, but it kind of hit me when I saw them promoting. I think I saw it on Twitter. It said, "Be there," the last Kiss concert, December 2nd, Madison Square Garden. I was like, wow, like no more residencies that we can fly out to, or not that we actually did that, but it's just surreal. It's just weird. I know. I don't even know how to. Again, I have to wait until after that last show and say what am I feeling, because we've always had that to look forward to. And right now, we still have that to look forward to. But overall, I'm grateful that that we've been able to see them as many times as we had, even on this one tour. Like, people are going to be. I mean, think of it. People are laughing, going, this tour has lasted forever. And I'm like, yeah, that wasn't completely their fault, but for me, it's a privilege to be able to have the opportunity to buy another ticket and go see them again. That's something that I want to do. And for I don't mean to get like really deep about it, but for so many people over the years, that how many Kiss fans that we've lost, that were friends or whatever, who couldn't make it to the end of the road tour. Like, we're going to be seeing Kiss on the last tour, very close to the last few dates. And I think that's something to feel really good about.
Yeah.
We're there right till the end, and that makes me feel pretty good. Not till the last show. I wish I could have gotten tickets to the last two shows. It just was not at the cards, unfortunately. But it feels good knowing that we're showing up for the band this last time, where it really counts.
100%, 100%. You said it really good a minute ago. You were talking about how it might not set in fully until afterwards. As soon as you said that, I thought back to the way I felt after the Fort Wayne show. No, excuse me, before the Fort Wayne show, because when this tour started, Jeb and I had we bought 3 tickets for 3 shows. And we thought, okay, so that's going to be our 3. That's all we're going to see. That's pretty good for this tour. That's it. We didn't realize that there were going to be, some more dates announced. And then, of course, the pandemic stopped everything. But when we saw the Indianapolis show, August 31st, 2019, we thought that was it. And we actually did think that was it. And about 6 months after that, within that 6 months, I was feeling, I'm going to use the word depressed lightly, because that's, depression is real. But the way I was feeling, I was, man, I'm really not going to see any more Kiss shows. This kind of sucks. And I just so happened to go on Kiss Online and saw a date for Fort Wayne, and just like a few weeks after that. And so I was like, oh, okay, cool. We'll just get Fort Wayne tickets, and then we'll just go see Kiss one more time. We saw them 6th row. It was amazing. And now I'm thinking, well, that's not going to happen again. If you get that feeling, Xander, that's tough. There's not going to be anything else left. But yeah, Jeb, I like what you said. I'm just going to enjoy the fact that we have 2 left.
Yeah.
And we're going to be there in Rosemont with Rob. Now, Rob, do you have soundcheck tickets for this Rosemont show?
Yes,
Talk about that. Talk about that, Rand.
So, you and I had done, sound check. I mean, not together. We were there together, but, and going into that Dayton show, I was like, I remember telling my wife, I want to do something to make this like, okay, this is the last show that I'm going to be at. It's in my home state. Dayton's not that far away from where we live, and I just really want to do sound check. So, saved X number of dollars from every paycheck and did the sound check, and we walked around Wright State Arena and got pictures. She took my picture different places, and knowing that I was going into sound check, going, wow, this is what a cool way to see my last show, and to do that. So, you and I had a blast. We were taking pictures and stuff, not of each other. That was my one regret going, I met somebody, but like the first time meeting somebody, you want to get your picture taken? But
We
so
should have. We
yeah,
will
we
next
should have,
time,
only if we had one more chance. So for
right?
this one, I kind of wanted that same feeling again, convincing the wife like, hey, we're going to do Chicago. That was a discussion in and of itself.
That
But
was
then
part one.
that was part one. But then part two was like, I kind of want to recreate that again because I liked that feeling of being able to do. So I was talking about it with Brant. Like I kind of think I want to do it. And he's like, I've never done sound check. He's got a 20-year gap in between his shows. He's like, what a cool way to end that on. So he's like, I'm doing it. I bought my sound check. And I was like, okay, now I think I want to. I want to go experience that with Brant. And then I was talking to Nick and Nico about it, and they were like, well, if you're going to do it, then we'll go ahead and do it. So I thought, what a cool way to be able to do that. And the only thing I can compare that to is to be standing next to you and Daphne going, I'm experiencing my at the time in Dayton, last Kiss show with two people I only ever saw on the screen. And it was this like, it felt like really natural. We were looking over at each other going, oh my gosh, they're playing, Hotter Than Hell or whatever. Just had that moment of just like, I don't know, like the concert experience is one thing, but to do that sound check that's so intimate and picks are flying all over the place, it was like they're playing in my barn, they're playing in my backyard. It felt just really natural getting to see this bigger, larger than life scaled down in their street clothes and just playing songs that we knew and loved. So that was the catalyst for doing this last one. I thought, this is my last Kiss show. I want to go out in style. And that and the laminate that you get is so darn cool.
Oh,
So
it's a guitar pick now, isn't it?
it's a guitar pick in the 50th logo and all that stuff, like the poster, the tapestry back there. So
That's sweet.
I
Jeb,
remember,
what we doing, man? We got to get this ticket for sound check.
you know what? I'm not even gonna lie. I'm thinking about I I pulled some strings, and I might be able to make something work. I'm not gonna make any promises, but there's a chance that Xander and I might be going to sound check.
Oh
I got to pull something together. Oh no.
So if anybody's a comic book nerd, Nick and Nico are. If you've seen Avengers Endgame, when Hawkeye looks towards the screen and he says, "Don't give me hope."
Yes. Don't give me hope. Don't do that to me.
Boy.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't happen, yeah, don't be like, well, we really should. The whole gang will be there, but you know what I mean.
Man, I should have just kept my damn mouth shut. Now I have to. But I'm seeing. I remember that. I remember Xander really wanted me to go, and I got tied up in a job that ended up kicking me to the curb anyway. So I really should have gone to that sound check. But I remember that and thinking, to see Kiss without makeup, even if it's just a sound check, that is a dream of mine. To see Gene and Paul without makeup playing, live, that would be killer. But I remember Xander was kind enough at that show to buy me this Tommy Thayer autograph with two guitar picks there. So he gave me something to make me feel better about missing the sound check. But we all had tickets together, and what a great show! Wasn't that? Was that not Eric's birthday? Eric's
birthday as well. Yeah. I saw two birthdays on this tour. Saw Gene's birthday in Toledo, Ohio. And then after that show, Paul and Gene both tested for COVID. So the show got abrupt halt. So they brought a cake out for Gene. So I've never seen any band that I've ever seen or any artist, I've never caught somebody on their birthday. But on this last tour, to catch two Kiss band members celebrate birthdays, and the last one being Eric Singer, I thought, how cool and crazy is that the show stops and they're bringing out a cake singing happy birthday, and that I was able to film both of those. I thought was really cool.
Fun fact, Xander and I have spent many birthdays with Eric Singer because of the Indianapolis Kiss Expos. He literally kind of like it was always like a little card, it's like Eric's birthday celebration or whatever like that. And which reminds me, maybe since there won't be any tours, they better get these expos back up and running, man.
Yes, please.
Killing me because
For
it's
real.
years since we've been to one of the indie expos, and that was just as good as seeing them in concert.
Was the last one 18 or 17?
2019.
Oh, was it 19? The year the tour started. Okay.
Yeah.
2019, I believe, was the last one. I'm trying to think who was there. I think maybe was that the one with James DeBello? Was he there? And John Beauvoir? And
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
yeah, that one was awesome. But but that was the last one. That's crazy. That was forever ago.
I know.
And it just blows my mind that they didn't bring him back. But it makes me think that, okay, obviously, yes, COVID, put a damper on in-person meet and greets. Even the band was putting, plastic screens up. So, but all that's passed now. So it makes me think that maybe they're just waiting for after this tour, to do it. Like everything right now seems to be focused on this tour. And these last shows. So hopefully, once Gene and Paul's schedules are free, maybe they will be inclined. I envision in my mind another convention tour, because like they could do exactly what they did in '95 in 2023 and charge 10 times the amount of money, and it would be an instant hit.
That's a fantastic idea for 2024, which will be the 50th anniversary of the debut album. And while I don't know what someone would have to really pull strings to get Peter and Ace to come on board. But even if it was just Gene and Paul, I'd love Tom and Eric to be there. But even if they just did this convention, a 50-year celebration for the debut album, that would be incredible. But maybe that would be classified as a Kiss tour.
Yeah.
Right.
I just read Gene's Rolling Stone interview today at work, and twice in the article he said this is the last Kiss concert and or tour, I forget how it's worded, in makeup. And he had said that twice. So is that like, because they keep saying, oh, we can't continue to keep doing this in 40 pounds of gear and wearing more makeup than your mommy, and that, that whole shtick that Gene likes to say. But that made me start going, they're really emphasizing this is the last Kiss tour. I don't think they've said show. They keep saying tour, concert, in makeup. So is there a life beyond, like, okay, we'll get together, we'll play some songs, and yes, we're Kiss, but it's not the Kiss that we know. So that could give credence to like Expos or Creature Fest or, the official Kiss convention part 2 type of thing, where they're back to doing acoustic sets, more loosey goosey.
Oh, well, I would be totally in favor of that. I could care less about all the people who are going to roll their eyes and say, "Oh, but they said this." I'm like, they've been saying, they've been saying who knows what, for who knows how long. If at the end of the day, if they're going to be putting on an event or doing a show or doing anything that sounds like it's worth the money, I'm going to do it. I don't care what they said last year or the year before. I mean, the circus was a reunion of the original 4, and it's like it's the Kiss way. We said that, but technically, whatever. It's up to the fans and what we're willing to pay for. And I think they know by now that if they're going to be continuing doing something. By the way, have they announced any off the soundboards or box sets or anything lately?
No,
nothing.
No, that's
nothing.
Well, not off the soundboard. I really want another box set.
Same here. My money was on, okay, Christmas time, maybe they'll announce, because I think before the Animalize one came out with Mark St. John, rumor was that there was going to be a Kiss Sail Away cruise compilation that was supposed to be an off the soundboard, and that got, if memory serves right, that got pushed back for the Animalize show, and then nothing's happened since, because they were, I think, contracted for, does this make 6 that's come out? So I think there were supposed to be.
They have 5 out. I think there was 6 contracted, right?
Yeah. So that would make the 6. Like there's one more. So people were thinking, oh, maybe it's the end of the year, because with the whole possible selling of the brand, they were only going to do colored vinyl only on Kiss Online. So people were like, okay, we still get one more, and there hasn't been any talk or movement since.
Just like Kissology, it's an incomplete set.
Right.
But did you guys hear about Gene's recent quotes from yesterday in 519 magazine?
Mm-mm.
So check
Yeah.
this out. So I'm not going to read the entire thing. I'm just going to give you the meat of the quotes. But anyway, here's a quote from Gene about the end of the road. He says, "This tour is the end of the road for the band, not the brand. Kiss is a universe of its own, movies, merchandise, maybe even Broadway. The band will end, but the Kiss experience, it's immortal. This is the end of touring." He says, "Kiss will continue. There's a Kiss museum in Las Vegas at the Rio called Kiss World. And oh my goodness, we have Kiss Cruises, a movie coming out. We're working on the cartoon show, a lot of stuff. And of course, all the toys and games that will continue." And it says, "As for the future of Kiss performances," he says, "the Kiss show will live on in different ways. Yes, that's being planned. It'll also be 4 to 10 different traveling shows. So you'll be able to be in Japan and have Japanese actors, musicians being us. And at the same time, you can go to Vegas or New York or London."
That was the same end article in the Rolling Stone magazine.
Oh, okay, for sure,
Yep.
for sure,
Yep.
gotcha. Yeah, so that to me was very interesting. I mean, obviously, we know that they have been thinking about, secession plans and what's going to happen after the touring band. But and I know Gene sometimes like Broadway, really, Gene, I doubt there'll be a Kiss Broadway show. But I see what he's saying though, as far as like, we're going to do this and that, and so when you guys hear about there's going to be a traveling show, 8 to 10 shows happening at the same time in different countries and different regions. Does that make you guys think, oh, just hang it up and quit, or does that make you think, hey, great, keep the Kiss trend going, and keep the Kiss experience and live experience going? What's your guys' immediate thoughts about hearing about a traveling Kiss show?
I mean, for me, it's whether it's something that I personally would be interested in seeing. I think it's a good thing. Maybe for people who are merely interested in the band, or people who never got to see them before, or really young fans who only became fans right at the end of the tour, because there's always just like Xander and I were, we're younger fans, but there's fans younger than us. There's probably someone out there who just became a fan today, and they think, oh, this is the end of the tour. Kiss is done. I think, well, no, whether it's nostalgia for some people, or something new for someone else. If there's a market for it, go for it. I see no reason to not entertain people if they want that kind of entertainment. Again, would I see it? I don't know, because I've seen the real thing so many times, and it just depends. But I see no reason to oppose it. So those are my immediate thoughts.
Mine was kind of like seeing the Return of the Jedi in '83 in the theater and going, that's it. For generations, Star Wars was over. And then what was The Force Awakens, 09 or something like that, to go, oh, holy cow, like this, there's life in the Star Wars universe beyond the core characters that we once knew. It feels very much, whether how you felt about those movies, but you got, the TV series and all these things going on, that I was watching the Obi-Wan series with my nephews that are like 12, 8, and 5. And I'm like, I was each one of their ages growing up with Star Wars, and here they are falling in love with it. Like you said, Jeb, getting a chance to experiencing something that they never got to see, even if it's not the real thing, it's being represented in a way that feels very real and very much connected as part of it. So people can roll their eyes at it and you go, well, back in my day, I got to see the real Paul Stanley. But if things are blowing up and I'm hearing the songs that I remember, I think it might pull you and go, all right, am I going to see 25 shows on that tour and travel to Japan and Vegas? No, but if you were vacationing out in Las Vegas or something like that, and you're like, hey, they have the Beatles Love, and then tomorrow night it's, Kiss Rock and Roll Over Fantasy or whatever it's called. You'd go, all right, let's go check it out.
You know what? I was literally getting ready to bring up the Beatles Love, and that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
I was just, as I was hearing you talk, I was like, you know what? The Beatles have been done since like 1970. Most of their fans have been born after that. If you think about it, and what a shame it would be if no one got to experience anything. And the whole Cirque du Soleil Beatles Love thing. was probably a big deal for a lot of people, and it didn't play like a tribute band or anything like that, but something to keep that legacy going. I think it's really special, and a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I when I heard it, I mean, that made me kind of excited because, yeah, the Kiss experience will continue in some way. And I think that if there were to be a show that comes around here, I would go see it because I mean, and I would not like compare it to, oh, this is not the four members of Kiss. This is, whatever. This is, I just would want to see, how they represent that Kiss experience and how are they going to actually do it. I think if there's going to be anything on Broadway, it should be The Elder. They should finish The Elder, do it right, and bring The Elder to life in a way that justifies and validates. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, so
I agree. Unironically, I agree.
Yeah, I would go to Vegas for that.
Yeah, I would love to see that. I mean, who wouldn't, right? That's pretty awesome. So, Rob, what was the first show you saw on this End of the Road tour?
Honestly, Dubai.
The Dubai show.
So, long story short, when the tour first started, my wife and I were talking about it and did the joke like, "Oh, I'm sure this is the last tour." So, we didn't get tickets till the last leg, and I'd been begging my mother for years growing up. I want to go see Kiss. She's like, "No, we're not going to see Kiss. I'm not going to let that music in my house." Blah blah blah. So that just became the joke. So I saw Kiss for the first time in '92 on the Revenge tour, and I've seen Kiss, since then. But so for Christmas of 18 going into, or of 19 rather, the last gift, my mom's like, okay, this is the last gift, and was specifically for me. And it was in a little box. My wife knew what it was. I opened it up, and it was the Kiss tickets for Clarkston, Michigan. September,
Wow.
I'm forgetting the date. I'm trying to read it up on the board and I can't see it. Yeah, Denmark. I can't remember what the date, but it was a September date, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Half cried that my mom's like, "Well, it's the end of the road for Kiss. I figure I'm running out of time to buy you your first Kiss ticket." So it was very cool. And then COVID hit, and then I was like, "I'm not gonna get it." It was like within maybe a month that should have happened. Maybe a little longer than that, probably a little longer because they had to have time for Dubai. So when Dubai hit, I was like, did I miss my chance that this is the only way I'm going to get to say goodbye to Kiss? So not trying to open old wounds, but I went in like whole hog. I didn't do the $1,000 thing, but I did the 250, 240
Yeah.
that, well, I'd get sticks that. So when COVID hit, I told my wife, I want to order a tour book and I want to order a shirt because I would have bought a shirt. I would have bought the tour book. So I got those, and we had a movie projector, and we watched Kiss Rocks Vegas in our backyard on the date of which we would have saw that show. I'm like, well, tonight's the night we would have seen Kiss. And I thought that's how that was going to play out. Saw Dubai, and then things started back up. So my first show was actually the Toledo, Ohio show that didn't exist initially on the tour. So when they reopened the world, they were like, okay, we're restarting the tour. And then since it's restarted, we'll start adding some of these secondary markets that we never got to hit. So Clarkston, got pushed back. So Toledo was the first show that I got to see.
Gotcha. So you had tickets for a show that didn't happen until you got Dubai and Toledo, and then the show you finally had tickets for the first time you saw.
Yeah,
That
I
right?
saw.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah, and that show was cold. It rained the entire show. My wife and I were in ponchos, and I remember it was a muddy mess on the hill, and I was like, "This is how I'm ringing out my favorite band in a mud hole." But Toledo show was great. We had a good time. Doc McGee was within, I don't know, 20 yards of me. If I would have got out of my seat, I probably could have met him. My wife had
Wow.
pointed him out, and I'm like, "No, that's not him." And then I saw pictures from that night, and I was like, "Oh crap, that was Doc McGee." But so that was the Clarkston show, and I think it stopped raining for Beth Do You Love Me and Rock and Roll All Night. And I was like, great. So this is how I'm ringing that out. So when Dayton came around, I was like, I need a do-over. I need a do-over really bad. So yes, the long answer was Dubai was my first Kiss show on the tour. In person, Toledo, Ohio.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Because Rob was talking about how cold it was. Was that roughly around the same time we went and saw the Tinley Park show where it was freezing, or was that a different year?
That
Our Tinley Park show was in October 2021. Rob, when was Clarkston?
September 11th, 2020. Well, no, that was the original date. That was a 2020. So I can't remember what that date was. I'd have to scroll and look it up.
Probably 2020, probably around a similar time, but that Tinley Park show was pretty cold.
I think Nick and Nico, I can't remember if I saw them first and then Tinley Park was after that. Because initially Nick and Nico were going to come to Clarkston, and with everything getting all jacked up, it didn't work out.
Yeah, that was a wild period. But yes, when Jeb and I saw, I think Emily Graziano, who will also be in Rosemont, I think she was also at that Tinley Park show. But that was for Jeb and I think that was the first show after COVID that we saw, right?
Oh yeah, they were doing so much testing. It was one of our friends who came along with us. We had like a moment where one of us, I don't know if we didn't have our vaccine card, or I don't even know if the vaccine were out yet, but there was a whole because I think that was maybe the first show we had been to since the pandemic really, really hit. And so this was, it was kind of a big deal. But I remember, that was the coldest show. And it makes me think, well, how lucky we are that our last two are going to be indoors in November.
October 15th, 2021, Clarkston, Michigan, DT Energy. So I saw them October 15th.
That sounds right then, yeah.
That was 5-6 days before, because we saw them October 20th, 21st. Yeah. Or no, October 16th. It was the next night.
It was
October. Cold. Yeah, it was
not feeling good that night.
Yeah, we Jeb and I walked in and went to the merch booth and we spent $80 each on End of the Road jackets.
Yeah, we did.
Because we didn't anticipate it being that cold.
I'm looking forward to. Are you guys going to be? I mean, it could go either way, but I don't know if you guys plan on getting any more merch, because Xander and I, at a few of our shows, we buy another shirt, or we buy like a poster or something. Being that this is our last concert, I'm gonna have to take an investment out for what's going to happen here. I'm gonna have to go to the bank and get a loan. I'm gonna be like, you don't ask. This is. I need the. I don't even know what. I really want a poster, and I really want a tour book. They've done a few different tour books now. I want the last tour book. That's gonna be
so.
Cool.
Rob is gonna go spoil it and get the new tour book right now. I just finally got the shipping notification on mine. I ordered mine. I'm gonna ask Rob when he got his, because I ordered mine. Rob, hey Rob, when did you order the new tour book?
When they came up. So the day that they went on KOL, I
and I bought mine. I bought what, Jeb?
So you can order those tour books right now, like for the last leg of the tour. Okay,
they're sold out.
Oh, they are sold out.
They're sold out on KOL. Okay. Most of the End of the Road stuff that you can get at the show is sold out.
Damn, I was just on there, and they had that same image that's on the front of the tour book, and they had that as a lithograph, and I was going to buy it, and it says sold out. But they do have one of the Xander actually has a poster behind him. This is the End of the Road. I think they still have a couple of those from the earlier legs.
Yeah,
that I probably got to end up buying, because I want the poster for the last.
Yeah, show. I same day that you ordered your tour book, I ordered mine. I just finally today got my shipping notification that it just shipped.
Really? I got mine like crazy fast.
I know.
The fastest I've got anything from KOL ever.
I know. And this is like, for me, the slowest. And I'm so upset because I'm still waiting also on my Psycho Circus merch.
Wait, really? What did you get? Because I'm jealous that anyone's getting anything, because most of the good ones are sold out.
Yeah, so from the Psycho Circus merch, I got the playing cards and the button set. So just a couple small things, but really I haven't shipped yet.
I think most of that stuff, like I got not the picture disc, the silver vinyl. Anybody that got those, everybody got those first. I think any of the actual the other fun stuff, that's nobody's gotten that stuff recently. I think maybe a few people have picture discs already.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have 2 orders from KOL that I have just been waiting on. So I finally got my shipping notification, but I am excited to flip through that tour book because I have I think a second edition. And so I'm excited to get, what is this, the 8th now?
8th, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And I think I have
Yeah.
Oh,
the first book I have that I got from Toledo. I think this is version 5.
Does it say?
Yeah, so on the very last page where they're bowing, you probably can't see it, but down here in the bottom corner, it'll say V whatever, V5,
Wow.
V1, V2.
Very cool.
And the new one should say V something. I can't find it. I saw it the other day, but yeah.
Very cool.
And you probably can't tell, but this is a thicker book in comparison. It's not doing a good job, but yeah.
They keep updating the photos and they're using different images, and I take it otherwise it'd be the same.
Yeah. And the back of this book has all of the tour dates, all of the chronological dates, not the dates where they were first come out, but the play dates, all the new dates that you saw them on.
Wow, that's really cool. And Jeb, you mentioned that lithograph. I was talking, one of our fans on Instagram was no, they posted that they bought the lithograph, the new one. And I was like, now, wow, that's sick. I want one of those. And so I too went to KOL and saw that they were sold out. And I was really upset because the one behind me is actually not that great. I was really disappointed when I bought that and got it. It was like a really cheap print on some really cheap stock that was like rolled up and folded. This new lithograph is, I think, embossed. And it's like, I don't know if it's hollow or not, hollow foil, reflective, shiny, but I know it's embossed and it's a much higher quality on a much thicker stock. But I was kind of disappointed with that poster. So I really wanted to change that poster with the new one, but maybe they'll add new ones at some point. I hope.
Yeah. I think for me, merchandise, I definitely want to get Eric's 50th anniversary drum head and his sticks, which, you've got to be in person to get those. And I was, wife and I were just talking. She's like, well, what are you wanting to get? I'm like, if those are the only 2 things I could get, I've got the tour book, I'm good. But that part of me says I would like to get one last shirt with the last date of the last time I saw the band, so I kind of lean that way. The buttons look kind of cool. So I'll probably pick up something, but
for sure. I really, really hope that at least for Indianapolis, they have like an Indianapolis specific shirt. Because one of the coolest things I can think of about being at a merch stand at a Kiss concert was when we went and saw Kiss in 2014 on the 40th anniversary tour. And in Indianapolis at the merch stand, they had a shirt that said Kiss, I am Indy, and had like checkered flags crossing or whatever. And it said, Indianapolis, August 22nd, 2014, whatever it was. And it's like, wow, that was a shirt that was only sold at this show. And of course, we were there. So I would like to see more like date specific, show specific shirts. Although I know it's hard to do that because you have to get so many shirts made for, all the different shows. But I think it'd be cool. So I'm not sure what I'm going to get personally from the merch table. Obviously, I do have the tour book coming. I would like another shirt, but I don't know. We'll see. So, Rob, I like how you're getting another drum head. Did you already have an End the Road drum head already?
Yeah, I've got.
I have 2.
It's back there. I've actually have a Kiss Cruise head, but I've got a. I don't think I got it in Dayton. Toledo. I bought the head in Toledo. I think that's where I got mine from. But that was also nice being at sound check. You and I had a funny moment looking at the merch table after sound check or before sound check. And we're going, no, we don't need another shirt. But the back of the shirt, the dates were so small that they blew them up. So it was like Dayton,
that's this shirt.
Yeah. I almost wore it. And we both looked at each other like, okay, we got to get it. It only has like 7, 8 dates on the back of a tour shirt.
Yeah, literally. And then Jeb, when you and I were in Tinley Park, after we bought those hoodies, we saw a stage played Eric Singer had going for sale for like a lot of money. And we sat there and was like, do we get it? Do we not get it? I could, but should I? Luckily I passed on it. But for a moment there, I was like, man, I'm about to walk away with a stage played another.
I think there was something special about that one. Did it come with like a set list, or it had something unique about it that it was sold for that much? It was like $250 or something. It was something ridiculous.
I think it was $350, and it did come with a set list. The problem is that it didn't say what show it was.
Right.
The person behind the table said, "Yeah, it was from the last show," and I said, "Well, what was the last show?" And he said, "I don't know." And I was like, "Okay, well, you can't prove because the ones I have are signed, dated. They come with a COA. Eric Singer himself signed them and dated them. This one was just Kiss, Eric Singer, end of the road." And I was like, I have no doubt that is stage played. I have no doubt that's his signature, but I don't know what show it was, and that kind of matters if I'm going to pay $350. So I didn't end up getting it, but yeah, still a fun story to tell because we sat there for a minute. And was like, man, that'd be a cool story to tell.
It makes me wonder that if that night that we saw them, the next night they were playing, they sold the drum head from the show that we played. Although I think that was the canceled show.
Yeah, because we were going to go see Tinley Park, Illinois, and then drive all the way to Dayton to see him in Dayton the next day, pick up Daphne and go see Dayton. But that's when, unfortunately, Fran passed away. That show was canceled. But we all got to be in Dayton together on Eric's birthday. So I guess in the end, it kind of worked out for us. But yeah, this has been a fun episode. So is there anything you guys want to talk about as we're wrapping up? Rob, you got your buttons in, so you want to talk about what you're going to be doing and what you and I are going to be doing?
So if you go to the Rosemont show and you see us, or if you're looking at the hot dog table, like I want to buy a hot dog, you might just find a right between the eyes button sitting there somewhere. Maybe if I wash my hands, the button may be laying on the counter. So I want to be able to hand these out as a way to kind of interact with Kiss fans. Yes, to get the word out about a podcast, but just to have that moment to say, hey, you're a Kiss fan, I'm a Kiss fan, check this thing out. And then a number of us we're doing this. So like Rick, now you can start collecting them all if you're able to go to some of these shows. So you, me, Brant, Rick, I think that's just a fun way to kind of take it one step farther and get this fandom and this community to kind of gather and to be able just to meet somebody and say, hey, you're pretty cool. Here's a button. So that was kind of, other than doing our t-shirts and hats and stuff like that, to do something like this, this thing turned out really pretty cool. So yeah, if you're at the Rosemont show, come find us, especially if you're at Soundcheck. So who knows? What were the odds of me going, hey, Gene, do you want one? Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, they're always throwing picks to you. You could throw buttons back at them. There you go.
And then Rob gets hauled out by security.
And then Eric Singer goes, no, let him cook. He's good. He's good.
Yeah, he's from Ohio. He's my boy.
I can sense it. He's from Ohio. He's a Buckeye. I got him.
That's right.
That's awesome. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I'm almost at this point. I'm more excited to pass my buttons out to you guys and get buttons from you guys than I am some strangers, because because this started out as like, okay, what can we as podcasters, as YouTubers do just to make it more fun for us and for them, whoever them is, anybody at a Kiss show. And now it's just become so much fun for us that I just can't wait until the show afterwards, or the episode afterwards. I get to show all the buttons that I have, because I already have one from, of course I have my own, but I have Rick's, and I just got some from Pasquale.
I gotta send Pasquale some, because that's a big button. I need that. Dude,
Pasquale,
I need that.
Yeah, his is like a freaking cookie almost. That's a huge, mine's like a little cracker, and
mine's like a communion wafer.
In fact, yeah, me too. I went for like this modest, like 1.5 inch, and Pasquale comes in with a 2.5, 3 inch, pizza.
I think he's serving his with maple syrup. Like he gets a bottle of maple syrup with it.
Oh, maple Canada. Yeah, no, for sure. There you go. That's funny. Yeah. So, okay. I want to ask, real quickly, does anybody have any new Kiss merch to show? Does anybody have any new Kiss items they want to show that they bought? I know, Rob, you had the tour book, so I guess you kind of already did.
I do have something. I don't know if I've ever shown. I don't know if I've been told to not show this or not. So I'm gonna go on a leap of faith here. So we interviewed somebody that is responsible for making all of Eric Singer's drum kits. So behind me, you probably can't see it, but I have the mirror ball, parts of the mirror ball kit, and then part of the crocodile kit down here. So I'll have to take pictures of it. But what Billy Baker sent us, it's probably gonna wash my camera out. Do you recognize this pattern at all?
The pattern.
The pattern. Not readily.
This was on Peter Criss's 1977 Alive 2.
Oh,
kit.
okay. Well, I was thinking Eric Singer, so for sure.
No.
This is going all the way back.
So Billy refurbished Peter Criss's original kit in parts that were not up to snuff anymore and cut out a swatch and sent it to the Carussos and I. So I have part of, it's not the wood, but it's part of the wrap that was on the shell that recorded "I Stole Your Love."
Oh, no way. That's basic history right there.
Yeah. So I've had this for a while. This is the only new, other than the tour book, this is the only new thing that I have here. So I got a frame. I'm going to frame it much like that with a picture of Peter Criss playing this exact.
Those are piece. So that is legit from his original kit.
Yes.
Oh, bro.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
The vintage stuff is like mind blowing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's just something like that you can't really get. You know. It's
yeah.
like,
no. The three of us were kind of like little like, oh, I can't believe this. Yeah.
It's like a holy grail.
Yeah.
You know what, Rob? I was going to text you this and I forgot, so I'll just tell you right now. You're not going to believe this. So I was at work the other day, and there's a guy I work with who knows I'm a huge Kiss fan. And so we sometimes talk about it a little bit. Hey, you going to see Kiss? When's your next show? You know, he's always saying, when's your next show? And up until, you know, after Rosemont, I've always had an answer. So anyway, I was talking with him, and he said, hey, so-and-so, you know, somebody else who was working there, he goes, you know, you tell him who you are. And so she said, oh, yeah, I know the guy who makes Kiss's drum kits. And I said, Billy Baker? And she goes, yeah, I know Billy. And so I was like, how do you? And so she traced it back. I guess, you know, she was friends with, you know, somebody who knew or whatever back in the day. And even though they haven't kept up in a while, you know, she knows who he is and what he does. And so I was like, how crazy is that I'm here at work and in Indiana, and somebody I work with knows the guy who builds Kiss's drum kits? That was crazy to me.
Yeah. We're going to have him back on after December. He wants to do like a wrap up, and he's going to take us through the construction of all the kits of Eric's and to get to the final kit. So
what a cool guest to have. Does he do very many podcasts like that?
He's done like 3. So
wow, that's really cool. You guys are, I mean, I have never seen him or heard him on any other podcast. That's really cool that you guys have almost like an exclusive thing going. But real quickly, just to show something to flex a little bit, because you got me with the Peter Criss kit.
Sorry.
So I got to show just a little bit of Eric Carr's kit right here.
Oh,
It's a little authentic piece of the silver drum wrap from the Hot in the Shade. No, excuse me, the Chikara kit.
Yeah, Crazy Nights kit. Yeah.
So, man, no, I'm just kidding. No, dude, that's seriously incredible.
Oh my gosh, that's cool. Well, it's just been vinyl. That's the only thing I really indulge in anymore besides the tour stuff. Like I said, I've been trying to create my own Kiss box sets, which I'm doing 2. One from 1974, all the albums from 74 to 82, which I have complete already, barring the originals 1 and 2, because I'm just doing the albums. So it's not like 100% complete set, but it's got every studio album. And then I'm doing from 83 to everything after that. So lately, I've just been going to every record store I can find because I want to buy them in person. Not too long ago, I found a really cool Japanese Lick It Up, which is
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for Japanese pressings. It just doesn't really. Yeah. Well, look, it's on the Casablanca label. Were they not on Mercury by that point?
I need to go to Indiana. Ohio stores suck.
This is Chicago.
He's in Chicago now.
Oh, Chicago, yeah.
Although I in Ohio. Oh, I don't remember. I think I wrote it down, but I did find a record store that had a bunch of Japanese kits, which I ended up getting mint copy of Rock and Roll Over, Japanese. This is like a 1980 pressing, I believe, 80, 81. That was incredible. I've got my 7 year completed up until 82, and then 80s are not completed yet. But I found just showed Xander this before we started, but it's an interview picture disc. This was
cool.
It was released in 86, but the actual interview had to have been in like 83 because they're in the interview they're promoting the Lick It Up album. It sounds horrible. It's unbelievable, but it's not bad. I got an original Asylum, pretty cool. By the way, these are all I've done within the last month or two. I've been speed running getting this collection together, getting anything I can find. Because I'm afraid that once the tour ends, everything's going to go up in price because they're not touring. I found a picture disc, Crazy Nights, just because, what else is here? There's the picture disc again. I got my Revenge. I've had that for a while. I just got from Amazon. I got that Psycho Circus copy that I showed at the beginning. I got Live 3, Carnival of Souls. I did get an original Kiss My Ass on the
red vinyl.
Yeah.
Cool. I got one about this time last year.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought they were more rare than they are because the record store I got it from, they had 2 copies. It's like
I thought the same thing. I was like, I can't believe I found one. And then like a month later, I was like, oh, I found another one. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like, it was cool. But vinyl is really my focus. And I got, I can show one of the box sets here. I'm probably going to end up doing, I've never uploaded a video to YouTube in my life, but I'm probably going to do my own video. I was like, beautiful hard case Kiss box set here.
That's cool.
And it's just a box that I bought and put stickers on it. That's nothing, extravagant, but it's got a case that opens up here. You can see this is where it ends, the Creatures. But that's my thing is the vinyl.
That's awesome.
That's cool, man.
That is really awesome.
And I don't know if my second box will ever be complete because I don't know how I'm going to get the Symphony. It's actually pretty difficult to get Hot in the Shade now. It's difficult to get the Millennium Show from the 2014. Some of those are not easy to come by. So we'll see. But yeah, vinyl.
For sure. Yeah, well, like I said, I am still waiting on my Psycho Circus merch and my End of the Road tour book. So I can show one thing, a very small thing. But anyway, so whenever you buy Moneybag sodas now, they are coming with one of 4 collectible Gene Simmons cards. And they have a random chance of being autographed. And you'll never guess, but I just got a box of Moneybag, and mine is not autographed, unfortunately. Oh. But it's still dope, and I love the card because, of course, I'll try and get it with no glare. It looks very similar to the Don Russ cards from 77 with the frame, and I love how Gene's helmet hair is perfectly framed in the middle of this right
Coiffed.
Here. It's perfect. And then on the back, in true 77 fashion, it comes with a puzzle. So you have to get one of 4 to make the puzzle. But anyway, I have seen somebody, one of our followers on Instagram, actually did get an autographed card and posted it. And I was like, dude, that is crazy. The fact that happened. I was really hoping that I would get it. But either way, that's my one little thing there. So, and it was nice that it came in a protector.
Oh, I was wondering because I've seen people post them. I kept thinking, oh, everybody's putting them in protectors, so they actually come shipped that way.
They do, yes.
Well, that's going to go on my Christmas list, honey.
There you go.
You get also this, just the last thing here. It's Harder Than Hell. This is a 1977 UK pressing.
Whoa!
I bought it because it's on this gorgeous red vinyl. It's like a bright red, bright orangish red, and it's got you tell it's 77. It's got the Love Gun label on there, the Love Gun era label on there. But that was super unique. I just found that a couple. Xander looks pissed.
I'm not pissed. I'm consistently mind blown at your luck when finding records. You said that everything you've shown you just got in the last 2 months. Meanwhile, it's taken me like 12 years just to get what I have over here.
That's
just
I go to record
amazing.
stores religiously. I go to like every time because there's so many. I live in Chicago now, so it's not like living in Indiana where you have to go an hour in either direction to go to a decent record store. There
Facts.
are fantastic record stores, and they just now I'm paying full price for these. I'm not getting like a super good deal. I paid, and this is a super clean copy, but this was like $60. So it's not like
Yeah.
it's my bank account's feeling it, so don't feel bad. But it's worth it.
I think we would be remiss for getting out of here. There's an album that hit its 35th anniversary just over my shoulder right here.
Damn. I don't have.
Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits 35 years. That was the second album I ever owned. Hits being the first, and I picked Hits up because I think I've told this to you before, Xander, that I associate Beth with Eric Carr more than I associate with Peter Criss, because that was the first version of Beth I ever heard was on Smashes. So hearing the original, I thought, boy, the voice sounds different. Like, oh, that's Peter Criss. I was like, I remember saying it out loud at a show once. I like Eric Carr's version better. People were like, what?
Blasphemy. How dare you?
You're not a real Kiss fan. Get out of here.
I'm surprised they didn't say you like Beth.
Yeah.
You like Beth? Yeah, there you go. That
Noob.
Yeah, boo.
Like, I actually forgot. I don't know the last time. That's one of the '80s ones that I'm missing. I don't have and I've never owned a copy of it.
That was one I found at a record shop that they were doing a flip at the record shop, and I saw the price tags at $80, and they're only open like on Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Right.
And they were putting that out Saturday, and you could call and reserve, and they're like, you have 2 hours to get here. So I told my wife, I'm like, I gotta go. I don't know when I'm ever going to get a copy of Smashes, and it's actually a BMG pressing, so like a record club pressing of it. So yeah, very cool.
Man. See, I'm jealous. Xander, what did you just get up and go?
Well, I was gonna say, I think everybody has shown vinyl so far in this episode except for me. So we mentioned Smashes, so I wanted to show my picture disc of Smashes, the gatefold, because I mean it's totally awesome. So there's the beautiful gatefold there, and then I love the back too. Bruce did a video on Facebook, and he kind of reminded me of this. I forgot that they did this back cover with the whole discography, and even though it's obviously incomplete now, I still think that's really, really cool that they did that. But of course, we all know what the
picture disc.
Yes, man. So there is the front cover there, and you can see, who signed it? Bruce Kulick.
Bruce.
Woo! And then they used the 76 image on the back there.
Doesn't that have Tears Are Falling on it, or what? No, Crazy Nights, because there's something on that's not on the normal pressing.
You know what? There is no. Oh yes, there is track listing. Let's see. Let's Put the Exits, Make Me Rock Hard, Love Gun, Rock City, Love It Loud, Deuce, Lick It Up, Heaven's on Fire, Dr. Love, Strutter, Beth, Tears Are Falling, I Was Made, Rock and Roll Night, Shout It Out Loud.
Okay, I must be thinking of a UK press thing, because that's where it was. That song was hot.
Gotcha.
That is that a lot of the picture discs around that time, much like my Crazy Nights, it didn't have the actual sleeve, let alone a gatefold. But the fact that you have the picture disc with the album cover and the gatefold is like, come on, like this is because I think this is official, but or maybe someone just did away with the rest of it. But this is just
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have it. I'm pretty sure I also have a Crazy Nights picture disc that is just the record in a plastic sleeve.
Right.
Yeah. Same with the Monster ones that we got, Jeb. It just came in a clear plastic sleeve.
I've got it right here.
I got it right behind me. I love it.
Those are awesome. Those are awesome.
That was fun.
Yeah,
that was a good time.
And you're like, this is not awesome because they sound horrible.
Yeah, it was. Well, that album sounded rough already to begin with, so a picture disc was not going to be much better.
I like the way it sounds on CD. I love the way it sounds on CD, but I used to have a proper black vinyl copy, and I don't.
I have it now.
Picture discs generally don't sound good at all, but my Crazy Nights one actually sounds decent. It just sounds like there's a lot of treble, which I think may have just been the album, because I listened to Asylum and Crazy Nights last week, my original Asylum, and then the picture disc, and they sound completely different. Maybe it's just the picture disc, but it's interesting.
That's awesome. All right, I tell you what, we're almost at an hour and a half here, so let's go ahead and wrap it up because I know the three of us, we could just keep talking all night. And if it wasn't a weeknight, I would let us.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up. So, guys, thank you so much for doing this last minute. It's great to talk with you guys. I am so excited for Rosemont. I know that I just actually, Jeb and I finally made travel arrangements / hotel arrangements. So that's how I know that it's getting close to the end. We're actually going to be staying at the same hotel that Brant is. So that'll be nice. It's literally a 3-minute drive or a 16-minute walk to the venue. It's right next door. So
I think that needs to be where the meetup is and the hangout spot. So yeah.
Yeah, we can hang out. And yeah, I mean, Brant and I will both have a room, or Brant, Jeb, and I. There's 2 rooms between the 2 of us. So there's plenty of. Well, you and I are, but yeah, but there's 2 rooms between the 3 of us. So yeah, that could definitely be the meetup spot and hang out. Because I mean, the plan as of now, depending on how tired we are afterwards, is to after the show, as many of us that wants to would get together and just do a quick video, a quick episode, at least for Kiss Army things. I mean, I don't know who else wants to, but
yeah,
I would like to. Yeah, I would like to set up the camera and just real quickly capture all of us kind of having our after Kiss moments and just enjoying what we just saw fresh. And so yeah, that could definitely be the meetup place, is that hotel, that Holiday Inn right there. But anyway, so if anybody's watching and you're going to be in Rosemont or Indianapolis, definitely come up, say hi to Jeb and I, and say hi to Rob. Come get your button. Make sure to look out for any concession stand, in the bathroom, everywhere. In your windshield, we're gonna anybody who has a cracked window, you're getting one right in the window. I'm gonna put it right between the eyes. No,
you've been chosen.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that'd be hilarious. Somebody walks in, opens the door. Well, who was this in my seat? Kiss Army things. They're gonna comment and be like, "Hey, White, don't throw things in my car."
All right.
But anyway, thank you everybody who's watching and listening. Be sure to subscribe to not only the Kiss Army Things podcast, but Right Between the Eyes podcast over on YouTube. You can check them out over on pretty much any platform where podcasts are listened to. So check them out there. And then Jeb and I are here on Kiss Army Things. Watch out for Jeb's future box set video. I know I'm excited. But anyway, so we will see you guys in the next episode. Rob, do you want to say anything as we're wrapping up? Thank you so much for joining us, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, and you make me.
Oh, nice. You know what?
Thank you for this, by the way. Thank you for this.
You know what? When you posted that, I was like, I gave him that, and then I thought, oh yeah, you're right. I almost forgot because I had a couple copies, but you're right. I almost forgot that I had given that to you. But yeah, man, you're very welcome. That's awesome. I love that song. That's a great song.
Yeah, just thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure to come on the show. Jeb, it's wonderful getting a chance to meet you before I meet you in person. So it's a blast. I can't. We're a week away, guys. We're a better part of a week away. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I can't believe it either. We got Thanksgiving. I'm so thankful. I mean, I guess if we're going to do a wrap up here with Thanksgiving, I mean, I'm just thankful for this band. I'm thankful for the memories that we've all made and the ones that we're going to make. And so anybody watching, definitely like this video, subscribe to our channel, and then in the comments, let us know what shows you've seen on this tour, how many, what were your thoughts then versus now, and then will you be able to see Kiss either in New York or on these last handful of shows, and just continue to chat with us, and then we'll be chatting with you guys, and maybe we'll have Rob back on afterwards, or maybe I'll be on his show and we'll do another Rosemont episode. Either way, I do want to get together and do a wrap up. That'd be really fun. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and sign off here. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been episode 72 of the Kiss Army Things podcast. My name is Xander.
My name's Jed.
My name's Rob.
Peace out, everybody.